This is Ben Eastman,
This is Calvin McCarthy.
and we want to let you know about a cool opportunity coming up for Dual Engines Productions, and
7th Street Productions.
we're going to do a little premiere on January 28th, showing, what was the film for you?
My film is a original feature anthology horror film called Three Flies in a Widow's Web. It's just about 90 minutes, about
Wow.
85 minutes. Blood and guts and the whole 9 yards. So.
Blood, guts, and the whole 9 yards, and mine's just a 12-minute sex comedy called The Card, and we're going to open up with some laughs and end up on some scares, but it'll be a fun evening, free for everyone.
Free popcorn.
Oh, free popcorn.
Free popcorn.
There may
free,
be some drinks
free
there,
DVDs.
too.
There might be some drinks.
And you may get some DVDs, some hugs.
Poster, actually, some posters. I got some free posters.
Nice.
I'm Geoff Crenshaw, and I'm bringing a trailer for my film, Truffle Runners.
Yeah, so come on down, January 28th. It's Saturday. Come around 7 o'clock, 6:30,
Yeah.
and come have a good time.
This is Heavy, Set, Go. 3 guys, 1 mic, a lot of heavy. Oh yeah.
Hello, I'm Geoff Crenshaw,
And this is Ben Eastman.
and you're listening to Heavy Set Go. We have guests today, but before we introduce them, we're going to make them wait on the back burner for just a minute because a couple of friends of mine became a parent. Charisse Lemon, whatever her last name is, she married a Hawaiian dude or a Polynesian dude. Not quite sure the ethnicity. Maybe that's bad. So congratulations to you for your second, I believe, child. And a good friend of mine from high school, Ryan Morie, is a first-time father today. What's the date?
Today is,
The 18th.
I don't know.
It's the 18th.
The 18th?
Yep.
January 18th, 2007, Jackson.
2017.
7 got... Ryan, you're a high school father. January, whatever the fuck, 2017... Jackson James Morie was born supposedly 2 weeks early. Ryan Morie, great guy. I remember he had this thing. He, like, in random moments, like, I never saw it coming. He would, I don't know if he still does it. I kind of hope he does. He would yell out the word champion in the middle of whatever was going on. Do you remember that?
No.
Like, maybe because
But Ryan Morie is one of the funniest people I've ever met.
He is, absolutely.
You think he did that when his son was born? Too?
Probably.
Oh, you probably did.
Probably when he was conceived. Champion!
Also, in other news...
Really quick.
Okay.
I remember, Ryan has had his moment in the sun. Go ahead.
Ben Eastman woke up this morning with no girlfriend for the 25th year in a row, and a migraine, and then saw himself in the mirror and cried. So, just thought I'd throw that news out there today. May or may not have sang
Hey, don't worry.
Wham's Careless Whisper in the car on the way to work this morning.
I woke up today, and I saw your default picture and cried, I'm friends with him.
It's really sweet.
Just kidding.
It wasn't I'm friends with him. It was like, I'm friends with him.
I don't even
Why
know.
did I settle?
I need to look for your default.
I think it's just like me in the middle of a street with snow.
Oh, God,
yeah,
how did I do
silhouetted,
this?
yeah.
Anyway, we have guests today. 7th Street Productions filmmaker, a damn good actor.
Actor guru.
Actor guru. I plan to put him in stuff in the future.
Sexy man extraordinaire.
He's been in...
Fantastic actor, but hasn't been in anything of mine yet.
Hey, you...
You just said.
No, I plan to... No, you're in one of my films. You're very, you're very, what's the word?
Cameo-ish?
Mysterious.
You're, fuck, I'm usually good with vocabulary. You're there. You're there in Truffle Runners.
I am there.
Prominent. You have a very prominent role, though brief.
And you're missing one of our other guests.
And I'm still introducing. You don't need to cut off his introduction.
Okay.
So, God, talk about robbing Peter to pay Paul. Natalie, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Natalie is an actress as well.
Well, when Calvin makes me.
Yeah,
Calvin?
has been.
Come on, be in my movie.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't want to. Be in my movie.
Okay, babe.
Be in my movie.
If
That's
you
how
look
it goes.
around out there, you'll find Natalie out there.
Yeah, what am I in, like 3?
Yeah, 3 or 4. No, you make a cameo and everything though. I mean, even in
Yeah, pretty
Walls,
much.
she's
I'm in the
shopping.
background.
Yeah, she's shopping at a market
Yeah.
in the background.
Well-
You're in Three Flies as well. You're also like the ghost.
Oh, yeah.
You just don't. You're just
So pretty much
Stand-
And,
Yeah,
I
you're
remember
always
the
there.
zombie and From the Gravestone.
yeah.
that's-
You're,
Yeah.
yeah, you're
That's
in
what I
everything.
remember because her zombie walk's pretty legit.
Yeah, you have
You
a
came from a
cameo.
wedding when you shot that
Yes.
too.
That's
Yes.
right. You came home in like a bridesmaid.
You were
Oh,
actually
yeah.
you were actually had so much fun at the wedding that you were already walking like a zombie.
Right.
Probably.
Yeah, I was a little drunk.
I was.
Oh, you were.
I still get shit from her family about not being at that wedding.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still.
Still.
Don't you love her? If you really loved her, you'd be at her sister's
Cousins.
Cousin.
at
Yeah.
her cousin's wedding. Is it a first cousin or is it like?
Oh, yeah.
First cousin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Calvin, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Calvin choosing film over your girlfriend's family.
A 72-hour Halloween film festival. Not even like.
There was a whole table with a little plate, and Calvin was missing, and I was all lonely.
She was a bridesmaid, right? You were a
Yeah.
bridesmaid? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I once
damn.
chose-
Yeah, bridesmaid.
Wow.
The one single bridesmaid.
Well,
I once chose.
it's an anomaly. They're still together.
Yeah, no
I once
kidding.
chose working on Truffle Runners over a trip to Las Vegas. And it was
Oh,
the
shit.
second version too, with that really flaky female lead. So
Wow.
it was.
Yeah, I would say fuck film and hello Las
Yeah.
Vegas.
It was. I regretted the decision. Needless to say.
Yeah.
And it would have been a free trip too. Like I would have gone to stay with man, and it was
Geoff,
perfect.
always choose Vegas.
Yeah. I've never
I should
been to
have
Vegas.
chosen Vegas.
Really?
I've never been. Yeah.
I've
You
never
never
been
have?
as an adult.
I've never been.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, so what's
We should
keeping
go.
you? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a cheap vacation.
We've gone to Disneyland twice in a row.
Well, there's
so
that.
yeah,
and
it's
you've
like
done
it's
Tower of Terror.
And next
yeah.
is Universal.
I'm just
Ooh.
yeah. I've never been to Universal.
Universal's
Wow.
great.
Yeah.
Well, I work for Universal, so
yeah.
technically,
Really?
Yeah, because of a questionable merger.
Yeah, Comcast and
hey,
Universal.
they bought NBC Universal.
Yeah, two huge companies merging together.
I get discounts at Universal Studios. Thank you very much.
Ah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, then I don't question the legitimacy of that
Steven
merger.
Spielberg calls me his buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, it's legit.
His Brokeback buddy.
Too legit. I'd be
Yeah,
his
that's
Brokeback
not
buddy.
too bad. Yeah.
I'd be his Brokeback
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
buddy. Sometimes,
want to be in the next War Horse?
you know what it's like in film. Sometimes you just have to do things that you wouldn't normally do
Yeah.
in order to get yourself further. Calvin, have you ever done something like that? Come on,
I
it doesn't have to be like the time that you gave up your.
I showed my wang in Cameron Devine's film. I mean, I wouldn't.
Was that a demand from the producer?
It was. It was.
Wait, seriously?
Same thing with the sex scene. Yeah. I mean,
From
there
the
needed to
producer
be-
or Cameron himself?
from the director. Yeah.
I got you.
I had to sit next to Josh's bare ass.
That's right.
Really?
For
for 3 hours.
for Tim's.
Yeah, Tim's film.
Carnivorous Love.
It was like my
there's a
face
shout
in
out
his
for,
ass.
I still
Oh,
have
yeah.
not seen that. I know I can watch it on Vimeo.
It's out there somewhere.
I think it's on Vimeo.
Is it? Yeah.
Are
I
you a
don't think I'm-
bartender in that?
Yeah, I'm a gay bartender.
Oh.
Ooh. Sussy.
Just kind of in and out. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
In and out.
Yeah.
Just got it in and out. But so showing your wang, that was your, like, okay.
Trying to think of another. I can't really. I mean, there hasn't been another.
I'm so.
I
I'm
did
so-
almost die of heat exhaustion in the desert once for some.
Oh!
That was.
That first day was murderous.
Man, what?
Oh,
Okay.
see, here's a confession. I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I that night I called Natalie and I called my dad, and I was just
He was
like
having a mental breakdown.
I was like having a breakdown from that heat. I was like I was
It was intense.
it was really bad.
We-
Well, I don't know if you remember when we got back.
This is for Mystery Spot,
Yeah,
the film that came out a few years ago.
When we got back, I ended up taking a cold bath twice. I don't know if anybody else. I mean, I don't know why anyone would have. No one was like keeping tabs on me, but like, I felt really, really
I think you had
shitty.
some-
Me,
I
like the
think
week
I
after
did have-
Mystery Spot, I was really depressed for a week, and I had no idea why.
I mean, I remember.
That's funny.
Well,
Because
because
we all felt that
well,
way.
because
That's so weird.
that house was. I remember. I
Oh
think
my
that
God.
what gave me the like seriously like a mental breakdown was. It was like it was so hot, and I felt like shit being out in the heat. And then we got back to the house thinking it was gonna be a relief, and it was
Yeah.
like worse.
No.
And I couldn't sleep. And I called Natalie, and then I called my dad, and I was like, I don't know if I can do another day in the sun.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, it was bad. Yeah.
You underestimated how hot it would be, and we didn't have enough.
Yeah.
Like, even the second day, you had the whole case, and it still wasn't quite enough. It was more bearable.
Yeah, no, and I you know,
It got
we
better.
planned as much as possible, but
Yeah.
we always talk about that because Geoff always remembers that weekend really fondly, and it was
I
a fun
remember the
time, but
first
I
day
remember
really
being
fondly.
incredibly stressed
Oh, I bet.
because I was just like, and that first day, well, I thought of that first day being a complete failure because I felt like we didn't get through hardly anything,
I can't remember, like,
but I was dead.
I think it's hard for a director to remember filmmaking fondly.
well, we got back too, and everybody was drinking beer too. That may have also led to my feeling really, really shitty by nightfall.
Yeah.
But I don't even remember. I remember like being so exhausted that I took another cold bath, and then you guys were like, "Oh, dinner's ready," and I like didn't even really eat.
I didn't
was
eat.
like, I just went. I went.
I
to
made the
bed.
dinner. I didn't eat. No.
And I went to bed, and I actually ended up stealing Alan's room. Alan was gonna sleep in that room, and I was like, "No, I'm going to bed right now." And he slept in the car, I think.
You did.
Yeah, I think he
did.
slept in the car.
I had to go out and wake him before they could go out and film.
because I felt like shit.
Well,
I was
Ben
like,
Eastman,
it,
he
that
has
was
a great
awful.
set. Welcome to film.
I remember a bunch of us were out in the patio talking, and you were chilling in on the love seat inside. And I decided to go just stand outside and stare at you until you looked up. And you looked up, and you're like, "Oh," you waved, "Hi, Geoff." And I was out there for like 5 minutes waiting for you to look.
Yeah, the other day, were we there 3 days?
2.
Just 2?
Well,
It was just 2? The third
we
day.
were there 3 days because we came down the night prior to the 2 shoot days.
Okay.
But you came down on the shoot day.
Oh, yeah.
Which also attributed to you feeling like shit.
Well, yeah, because we didn't sleep when we were... That was great. I think
That's all you guys.
Probably my favorite, like my most fond memory of that was the car trip.
Didn't you guys leave at like 3 a.m.?
Yeah, we left at like midnight that night.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And yeah, because I met Alan and Brian in like the parking lot of a Whole Foods or something.
That's what Brian.
That's what
Yeah,
we're doing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And yeah, it was like 1 a.m. when we started our trip. And actually, you guys had like forgot something, and we had to stop by like some
the boom
house.
pole, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the boom pole.
Yeah, and we had to
Fucking
like
boom
stop
pole.
somewhere, but we drove all night, and none of us slept because I think that Alan told Brian and I that we could sleep, and we were like, no, that's not fair that you have to drive. So we all stayed up, and none of us, like, it's not like we were, friends yet or anything, so we spent like that whole time just bullshitting.
Have you seen Alan since then? Like, because he wasn't at the premiere because he was in Korea.
I have. When have I seen... I swear I've seen Alan.
I bet you've worked on something or been near something.
I've seen him. I know I have. But I see Brian O'Connell every now and then because we've hired him twice. I really
Yeah.
like Brian.
I do too.
He cracks me up.
I wish he
He's
did
a
more
good guy.
fun, like more film stuff.
Yeah, I have to like drag him out.
He turned
to-
down a role I offered him for Truffle.
Actually,
Runners.
he's
I
in
was quite
Three
hurt.
Flies. God, he better be there. He plays Cammy's boyfriend.
Oh shit.
That's right.
Yeah, he's the one. He's like the real victim in the first short.
Oh yeah.
Because I asked
yeah.
you to
And
play
Cammy's cheating
that
on
part.
him or whatever.
Yeah, I
No,
asked.
I didn't.
Yeah, I asked you to
Guys,
play it, and you couldn't
spoiler
play
alert.
it that weekend. I guess I shouldn't have said that on this thing, 'cause now Brian will know that he was my second choice. But I originally asked
Sorry,
Ben,
Brian.
because Ben was going to be the one getting cheated on by Cammy. And then Ben couldn't do it, and I got Brian.
Brian was my first choice for one scene in Truffle Runners. I won't go into detail, but Tally ended up taking the role.
Yeah, it's probably no wonder that he passed up on the
Have you
And
seen that?
in the 4
Yeah.
years when it comes out,
I'll show you later.
in the next 4 years when it comes out, you will see that scene. I have a question. That's crazy that you had such a shitty experience on my film.
Yeah, it was
Mine
really
wasn't.
bad. And like
Well, the first day was
so
I don't
funny.
think I ever told you because I like felt bad that I felt so bad,
No,
which is
no.
weird. But
I
yeah,
felt
no,
bad, too.
I called Natalie and she's like, well, you know, I was like, I think my brain is fried. I think that
I
like
think he just had like sunstroke.
well, obviously not
Honestly.
sunstroke, but yeah, heat exhaustion
Heat
for
exhaustion.
sure.
No, I mean,
I felt sick.
I remember that when we finished up on the road. I remember turning to Chansey, like looking at my shot list and thinking, I got about 20% of what I wanted to get done today. And I was like, okay, we got to go to that second location to do something.
Right, we drove
And
over there.
We
once
drove over
yeah.
there, and that wasn't like that's not just like second location.
Right.
That
And that's
that
what Geoff
road,
was.
Yeah.
that 1.5 mile road was
It's
a
like
road
straight
that our
lava
car should have
rocks.
never been driving on.
Well, especially his
Oh, God.
little Kia Rio.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many potholes in one
Like
road.
all these rocks were having to like maneuver around,
Yeah.
which I had forgotten that it was that bad. Before when I had driven that, I was in
Yeah.
the SUV, didn't even think about it. And I remember we drove all the way out there. You guys are like waiting. I'm like standing in the middle of this dirt road, and I'm like, I can't. I don't know. I don't even know what my name is right now.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, I was just like, guys, let me just shoot one thing with Alan real quick, which was I shot his walking sequence.
Right, yeah.
Because I was like, I could just fucking run out there, don't need fucking audio. I'll
Right.
just, like, yeah. And I remember after that, I remember it was like, okay, we gotta go. We all went to fucking Walmart. And, like, we were just, like, all, like,
Yeah,
grabbing
that's right.
food and water
Beer.
and
I remember
beer.
that was like the big one. Well, because I can
Alan-
remember all of us, because Brian, Alan, and I, on the way up there, we're talking about getting a hotel room that had a pool, if there was one in the area, because we could already tell that it was going to be that hot.
Yeah.
I think for me, like, I think that we psyched ourselves out by talking about that so much. That, like, I mean, yeah, after that, because then after I got off the phone with Natalie, I called my dad, and it was the same thing. I was like, dude, I think I have heat exhaustion. I don't know if I can go back out in the sun.
So
Well,
I
and
never thought the house was that bad.
Oh,
'cause
but
my-
the house was bad.
it was,
My bedroom
it was,
was
Oh,
like
well,
the
and
hottest
there was no safety. That's
No.
the issue.
There,
I
there
mean,
were
like
no
outside
fans.
was safety, but after when it got like finally got a little cool and bearable,
Right.
mosquitoes at the
Right.
wazoo, and we slept to go
Yeah.
to bed early. But I remember, I mean, we slept in that heat, and then
Yeah.
woke up early in the morning and went back out.
Yeah.
I remember the second day not being as bad.
No,
was
it
much-
wasn't.
I was sick that day though. I was like always on the verge of throwing up for some reason that day.
It's from the heat, man.
That could
It's
have been
that
it.
Fucking heat. That's how I felt
Not
when we
gonna
got
get
back.
enough water.
That's why I took a
That could
cold
be.
bath twice, because I felt like I was sick. I was like, here it is. Like,
And then my thing is like, I was just thinking about this the other day because I saw my mom's car and I remember we had used that, and I was thinking, we got up early that next day, and we shot the show. We trucked through the rest
Right.
of them, and we were doing great.
Yeah.
Like, and then it came down to where that storm was coming on the horizon,
Right.
Oh, yeah.
and we were like, hey, let's
And
kind
then
of
there was-
pick it up just a bit.
there was lightning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was, and there's still some in the film. I mean, you can hear it in the film.
Remember those hicks? Hey, you know where the the ice caves are?
Yeah,
And
and
then
then they came back down.
They came when we went to the caves. They were coming up through the. You gave me a walkie-talkie. Arch, if you see anyone coming, let us know with this. And then seconds later, while you were still up on the surface, I used it. Someone's coming. And you're like, yeah, very funny, Geoff.
We look over and all these dicks. And we all just like we couldn't shoot,
Yeah.
so we're just like waiting for them to kind of walk in and walk out.
Yeah, they were there for a good 5 minutes at
But
least.
my thing is that so we shot that, we fucking shot the shit out of that, and we came back, packed up, and somehow I had the energy to drive all these guys home.
Yeah.
One thing.
Well, we left early. Me, Alan, and Brian, when we came back, when we were done filming, we came back and we left for home.
I think you did leave a few minutes ahead of me. And I ended up passing out.
No, I remember. Well, that's actually the story I was going to tell. I remember we were all going to go to the Taco Bell drive-thru, and we were in the line, and Alan drove up. So, guys, I decided I don't want Taco Bell. I'm going to drive home to beat the traffic, and so he drives off with Calvin and Brian O'Connell in his car, and we sit in line for 20 minutes, because it was a long line. Yeah. They were taking forever. I don't think they were the most efficient Taco Bell on earth. We finally leave, and we start driving down the street, and maybe half an hour, we see a little blue car ahead of us, and but could that be? No, there's no way Alan drives that slow. Slowly the car becomes more clear. That really looks like Alan's car. We pull up. Chancey and Tyler Bertram were asleep in the back seat. Yeah. And previously, when we were driving to the first location to film, we would just be kind of driving along at a pretty slow pace, and we'd look behind because Alan was following us in his car. We look behind, and we wouldn't see him for 20 seconds, and then finally a little blue Kia Rio blip would appear out in the horizon with a little tiny dust trail behind it, and he's like, eh. And later he's like, Ben was driving like a madman, but he wasn't. He was driving slow. I was with him.
I remember at one point, I think we were crawling down the one road. I was like, where the hell is he?
Alan must have been going at 2 miles an hour. It was ridiculous, but
he's probably really high.
Oh,
that's probably why.
Who knows? I won't speculate. Oh, actually, probably. But we were coming up, and we said. I wasn't sure if it was Alan. Maybe it was a coincidence. Maybe there was another Kia Rio just like his on the road. We were we were on the portion of the trip where we were. What's that mountain range between Ben?
Trying to have.
No, that's not the mountain range between.
Sisters.
Is that it? We were going over the Sisters mountain range.
That's good. No.
No.
There's a mountain range somewhere.
Oh well, it was near Mount Hood.
Yeah, it was kind of in that area.
Yeah.
And we see Alan, and I finally see that little, red and white Alan Burrell checkered shirt he had on. And I started laughing.
I could smell his flip-flops.
I started laughing. I remember looking out the window, like, hey, Alan, eat it! And it turns out he never noticed that I said anything. But I woke Chancey and Tyler up, and oh, sorry, guys.
You wake Chancey up. She looks like a little angel. She's like, I'm sorry.
You said...
Go back to bed. Damn.
Sorry, Chancey. But that was one of my favorite memories. And Alan always likes throwing Ben under the bus. He was driving too fast. He was not driving fast. Ben was practically Grandpa on his way to golf. He was driving so carefully out there.
I don't know. Some grandpas really want to play golf.
Hey, we got to and from the set safe with Alan, so.
So did we.
I won't say anything bad about Alan's driving.
He drove like a grandma. He won't admit it. I love you, Alan, but you drove like a grandma.
Well, at least he was safe.
Yeah,
I've seen some grandmas drive pretty scary.
That is true.
Well, he drove like a safe grandma, safe but slow.
I want to ask a question in conclusion here. I want to ask a question. What is the craziest story you have of interference when you're filming? Like where you've had to go stop.
Oh, can we take turns on this one?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm first.
You
first.
Do you have a story?
Yeah, one.
Okay, because you can kind of think. Just think.
There's a bunch of interference from an outside source.
It could be outside or inside.
Jesus
too.
Christ.
Geoff, go ahead with yours.
I want to go later, but since I know it, I'll actually go. Several times, cops became involved in the filming of, and this isn't the Burgerville story, so you can wipe that horrified look off your face. Although I do want to tell that one at some point. Several times cops did become involved in the filming of Truffle Runners. One time, I think it may have been the second go around, because I tried filming it 3 times. The third time was the charm, hopefully. One time we were behind the grocery store for the first chronological scene in the film, and we were filming and stuff, and this dude pulls up. This sheriff, he looks like he's straight out of Smokey and the Bandit, except not the SUV, but he gets out and he has the tan sheriff suit, the short sleeves, the brim hat, and he walks over. What are you boys doing? And I'm nervous, and Zach had told me, Geoff, I've been around cops. I'll talk to that guy. I've been around cops. Let me talk with him. I know how to communicate with law enforcement. I know how to talk to cops. Don't worry. Let me talk to him. And I'm like, okay, Zach. And he's like, what are you boys doing? And Zach says, we're filming a drug deal movie. And I'm like, thanks. My stomach falls. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck did he say that for? And he's like, well, what exactly is your movie about? And I kind of gave him the premise. Chocolate truffles, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, well, okay. And he gets in his car. Eventually, after eyeing us very suspiciously, he gets in his SUV and drives off. And I turned to Zach, what the fuck did you say that for? And he's like, well, it is a drug dealing movie. He's like, well, not quite. It's about chocolate truffles. Why did you say that? He's like, well, you got to be honest with the cops, Geoff. God. And another time, this last time, we were Zach Shannon, Alan Burrell, Garrett Holm, Tim Kahn, our sound guy. A very good sound guy, by the way. I would recommend Tim Kahn. We were all... Oh, and Zach's girlfriend, we were behind... You've seen that scene, I think, where the freight doors are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We were in that corner during the crucial end of that scene. Basically, we were filming someone suffering an attack. But anyway, we were there. We were filming a scene where someone gets, I won't say who, but someone gets bludgeoned to death with a crowbar. We were all standing around. A bunch of dumbass teenagers come by in a convertible white Volkswagen Beetle.
Oh.
And
mine's blue. So
Oh, it is? I thought it was gray.
I'm
But-
colorblind.
It's gray,
I'm
yeah.
fairly sure I'm colorblind.
You
Wow.
say blue a lot.
Yeah, I
But
say blue a lot.
the teenagers were all looking at us like we were aliens from outer space. And let me remind you, Tim Kahn was holding a boom pole with a microphone attached, a pretty goddamn big one. Zach's, at the time, girlfriend, now his wife, Natalie, was holding a slate board. I had a camera strapped around my neck, and the camera was in my hands. And I'm sure there was some other piece of... We had LED lights on location. And these kids came up in their white Beetle, top down, and they're staring at us. They're kind of slack-jawed teenagers staring at us. What are you guys doing? And I looked around at the boom pole, down at my camera, just making sure that the stuff was visible and obvious. I looked up. We're making a movie. Oh... They slowly drive away, not breaking eye contact with me. And then they go around the corner and we continue filming. Not 5 minutes later, 5 police cars pull up into the filming location. What's going on, guys? And I'm like, I told Zach, I'll talk to the cops this time.
Yeah.
Well, we're making a movie. Oh, and we talked about it. It's like, well, do you have permission to film here? No. Oh, well, I'll let you go ahead this time. But if the owners find you and say you have to leave, you need to leave. Okay. Okay. And all right. And I asked, hey, you probably see a lot of blood. Does our blood look real? No. Oh, well, thanks, guys. Yeah, and they drive off. So that's pretty much when I've been interrupted.
Mine's a real like short one. I mean, I think almost for every film there's like been some instance, like on Mystery Spot when the Ranger came up.
Oh, tell that story.
It's a pretty funny one. It's not what I was actually going to tell, but
I'll tell it's a good one
because it's probably the better one. But
Just a good response from Tyler,
yeah,
right?
We were like
Student
all
film,
on
yeah,
the
man.
side of the road, like ready to go. But the park ranger comes up. He's like, "What are you guys doing?" And I'm just kind of like sitting. We're all like standing like deer in headlights, and filming a movie.
Don't you need a permit?
Do you have a permit for that? And I remember like thinking, well, I don't want to lie to him because I don't have anything to show to him. And before I'm about to say, no, sir, we don't, Tyler goes, actually, it's a student film, and because of our
we have less than 8 people.
under than 12 casting crew, we don't need a permit in Oregon.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember all of us going, okay, go with it.
Yeah.
And he was like,
We all just like nodded,
like-
like, yeah.
okay, well, just be safe. And then he like drove off, and I was thinking, holy fuck. And we all turned to him, is that true? He's like, I don't know, I think I may have heard it.
Yeah.
We were like,
Bertram,
yes.
Yeah.
I tell that story all the time, because I was just like,
Oh,
what
it's
a great...
genius. It was
Oh, yeah.
genius.
And
Yeah,
that-
I've heard that one.
And that story, that totally changed the way I thought about, like,
How to
coming
deal
out of a
with them.
situation. It's like,
Yeah,
you
definitely.
gotta come at it with confidence, because...
Most
what-
people have no idea.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, at one time looking into permits and all this shit, and I was
Right.
thinking, no
No,
fucking
you
way.
steal it. I do that all the
No
time.
one's out there
Yeah.
except some hunters.
Nobody knows the rules either.
No. Yeah, like he's got a fucking rule book where he's got
Yeah,
Article
film.
17, like... But what's yours? You gotta have one good one.
You know,
Finish this
I
out.
have a couple of really quick ones.
Okay.
The first one is being a filmmaker. When we were doing our first attempt at a feature, which is a little anthology film called BedtimeScaries.com. Originally, we were doing this the script that I wrote called Happy Anniversary, and we casted it, and we did rehearsals for it, and we took pictures for it, and we just had a little small crew at the time. Cameron Vine actually worked on that one too. We were setting up the house and setting up all these pictures that we took. And our lead actress, Elise Fosmart, called and said, my dog died tonight. I can't show up tomorrow morning. So what we did in a state of panic is I actually called an old friend of mine from high school theater,
Ex-girlfriend.
my ex-girlfriend.
An old friend
yeah.
of mine.
I didn't want to say, but pretty,
She's your old flame.
yeah, but pretty much begged her to do the film, and she did. She showed up that next
Yeah,
morning,
she
had
did.
never seen the script,
Wow.
and did it, and it's still. I mean, it's a
She
good.
rocked it.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a good short. It was a good short. And then
You just can't plan for that shit.
yeah,
I
you
mean,
you couldn't
and
at
you
all.
understand. I mean, yeah, it's like,
Yeah, we understood enough that Elise ended up playing a different character in another short later, and she works with us all the time.
Yeah.
But
I helped out with that one.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she is great.
Yeah,
That's
She
a
is.
good story of just like being resilient. I mean, it was literally 6 hours before everyone was supposed to show up.
wow.
And then as an actor, there's one actually from stage, high school theater. We were doing Dracula, and I was playing Renfield. I was opening the show, and in that scene, Renfield gets brought a platter with the top of a tray, and there's a rat underneath that he eats, and one of the nights, I go to tear off the covering for this platter, and the handle came off, and it happens like midway through me lifting up this cover. So now the cover, it just becomes this big spinning metal, pretty much saw blade that is just coming right at me and cut open my forehead, split my forehead open.
Damn.
Wow.
And I was bleeding through the rest of that scene and through the rest of the show. And it was
stayed
actually
on it.
I stayed on it, and it was actually Halloween night.
Good for you.
And later after that show, I had to go get a stitch in my forehead.
Do you still have a scar?
But I had that's right in my eyebrow. You can't really see.
I mean,
it.
yeah,
I
a
thought
single
it
stitch
was-
probably not too, but I
Yeah.
bet there is a little something there.
Yeah, and then God, I had one more. Now
Remember
I can't-
what was the motel one called? The Krabby Motel.
Oh God, yeah. With Nina. No vacancy.
No
Is what it's
Vacancy.
called.
Yeah, remember when we were filming outside during the day and that lady came up to us? I think she worked there, and she was like, "You're making people uncomfortable."
Oh yeah, we got. To
And it was like the kind of place. It was so shitty that I think like you would see like whores
Yeah,
at night.
there were
walk around.
hookers
Like you
there,
could
yeah.
tell that they're just
That's right.
and like drug deals. So
You're
I think
making the hookers and
Yeah,
drug.
yeah.
Yeah, with
We'll
the
be right there
camera
with
just,
cameras and shit.
filming
so,
everything.
Yeah.
She's like, "You're
Oh,
making
okay.
people
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, valid. I
Yeah.
see it.
I
Yeah.
can see it.
God, I had another one and I lost it. Now, I had one from a set that I was acting in, but for whatever reason I can't remember.
My one that I was originally gonna tell is real quick too. It's always fun when you're making documentaries because you're kind of like you're capturing moment, whereas you manufacture a moment in film most of the time. Sometimes you don't even do that. But like like if you're like filming a wedding, like I almost always miss the first kiss. It's just how it ends up. Like blah blah blah. Well, when we were filming Monday Fun Day, we had like several. Monday Fun Day was a documentary about this like park that every Monday they just had this big festival. People would come play games, music. I mean, it was just like Hippie Fest 101, and in this park in Southeast Portland. And they have this huge dodgeball game. Everybody's kind of drinking, having a good time. Well. So we were going to do this for school, and we knew it was going to be on OPB. So me and my other friend Tyler Bertram, we were like, okay, we need to go out there, 3 or 4 Mondays and just shoot everything, get all that we can, and then compile the footage later. Well, one time we were shooting, and I was trying to get. There's a sequence that's in the film of 2 guys sword fighting, which it's like you get these drunk weirdos who are like LARP fanatics and they're in a sword fight. It's like, okay, set, record, and watch everything happen. Well, I remember like these 2 guys, they were like joining in. I was like, this is going to be great. This is good. Well, also because you're in Southeast Portland, it's on like a one come all kind of park. You're going to get people who are talking to you, just random people, hobos or whatever, just weirdos. Well, I remember this one guy like came up right as I'm like setting record, and just wouldn't.
Oh, see that meth dude?
It was that guy, yeah.
That guy's fucking
And he
annoying.
was like, what kind of movies you make? And I'm like, and this is like the type of guy that I know if I tell off, he'll like get offended and probably cut me. But like, and I'm like, these guys are fighting, and it's beautiful. Like, I haven't even been able to press record yet, and I remember like thinking, God damn it, come on, can't you see? But yeah, and then he ended up leaving like 20 minutes later.
God.
And then I had to film the people that were still like fighting then, which weren't as cool. But
This isn't quite as entertaining of a story. Maybe it is, but I remember one time, it was the second round of Truffle Runners. The actress I had then was so unreliable.
Woof! I hope she doesn't listen to.
Well, I'm not naming her by name.
Well, she knows.
Yeah, well,
she who shall not be named.
I cut my ties with her.
Name starts with a.
Don't. I cut my ties with her, but fucking awful person. She would like cancel. Like she'd step out of shoots at the last minute for no reason. One time she went to. I should have. She gave me enough bullshit that I should have just stopped with her, and like tried to move on elsewhere. But like I really wanted to get it done, so I tried to be patient. She ended up quitting, so I just can't do this. But like one time she went to California for 2 months. She said, we'll finish it when I get back. And it didn't happen. It's let on. But one particular time, we were like an hour away from filming the scene. And I don't remember if I had, it's been a long time. I don't remember if I had made it to the location by then or not, but I think I had. I think I was at the house, and Zach gets a message. I think, listen, I can't make it tonight because I'm sick. Because we were sending her message. I was having Zach. I didn't have a cell phone then. I was having Zach send her messages, saying, "Hey, you're still coming, right?" And it's like, "Oh, I can't. I'm sick. I just got a horrible case of the flu."
An hour before.
And she's really playing up her misfortune. So I hang out with Zach a little while, maybe hang out with Ben. I get home, go in line. The first thing I see when I log into Facebook, I didn't even go looking for it. The first thing I see is her at a party, like with a bunch of friends. Like holding a beer, wearing her attire from the movie, from the film, which tells me that she got dressed to.
Does that mean it's not recording?
It tells me she got dressed. Mine is still recording. To shoot, but then decided not to when a better offer came along. It's just one of those "fuck you" moments.
Yeah. That's awful.
shitty.
Yeah,
Be careful who you cast.
absolutely. Or who you hire as a crew member.
Yeah. That's he who shall not be named.
But shout out to Tim Kahn and Pierce Lacurdo for being amazing soundmen. Calvin and McCarthy. Morie, what the hell was your
Morie.
Morie.
Yeah.
I need to you need to spell that phonetically, man.
I guess.
God,
that's not how it's spelled. It's funny. My sister's middle name is also Japanese, and it's spelled Fumie,
Yeah.
and it's spelled Humie,
Yeah, it's pronounced Humie.
but it looks like Fummy. But it's Katie Humie McCarthy.
Humie.
Yeah.
I just assumed you were Calvin Morie McCarthy.
Yeah. No.
Well, Calvin Morie.
Yeah.
Did I get it right?
Yeah.
McCarthy.
Yeah, close enough.
Natalia Lucia. The wonderful Italiana. Yeah, see, I'm still stereotyping. I haven't been from Chunked Thunder.
Yeah, she does make a spicy meatball.
Well, go enjoy your spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Thanks for
enjoy your spaghetti.
pasta.
Enjoy your sushi.
thanks for joining us.
Just kidding, guys.
We actually just went to Wajimaya, so we know.
Good to see you.
Yeah. Shout out to Wajimaya.
So your name?
My name is Calvin McCarthy.
My name's Natalie Lucia.
Ben Eastman.
Geoff Crenshaw, and you've been listening to Heavy Set Go!